Last night at Tours, I found out from MetaWisp that there are 5 hidden visual effects elements, and today we're going to show you where they are and how you can get your hands on them. But first, we need to roll back almost a year ago from today. Our friend MetaWisp had inquired in the official group how to get the birds from the home space. So when you're in your personal island, before we had the apartment, there were those birds that would float by. I wanted to believe that the birds that were flying in there were made in Horizon, but everybody else was convinced that they were made in Unity and there was some special thing. Well, we did find out last night they are actually a visual effects element, and you can get it now, which means you can have flocks of birds. In fact, you can have so many flocks of birds, we made a bird tornado. We made a bird, I don't know, sandstorm. It was crazy, absolutely absurd, which we have some things to talk about how that was possible and why it might not be for much longer. The birds can be found by clicking New World, scrolling to the bottom and scrolling all the way over to Parkour Template. When you open this up, you're going to find there are several visual effects elements with birds flying out of them. You can then open that up and create an asset out of it. This will allow you to save it to your asset library so you can pull it out anywhere you go. Now you'll note that these are listed as default, which means that if you change them, you can't get back to the birds. So just bear that in mind. You're definitely going to want to make sure you make this an asset so you can always have a copy of it. And the other 4 are found in the RPG template. Now you're going to have to do some digging around to get all of these out of here. It did take quite a bit of zooming in and out, looking at every single visual effects element we could find, but once we had all 4 saved to our asset library, we then went to an empty world to do some testing and calculations. What we would discover is that currently, all of the visual effects are reading 0% capacity cost, which is mind-boggling. So we had 400 of these red splats, and we were freezing up. It was like crazy, because they didn't have any capacity cost. So it was causing our whole headsets to freeze. Dempster crashed at least once, but we're not sure what that was about. And then we deleted them, which crashed me, and I had to come back. But then we went to the birds, and we were able to get 800 birds spawned without crashing, and it was running extremely well. So the birds, very, very affordable. They're not going to cause some major frame dropping. I'd encourage you to have as many of these as you want. I definitely wouldn't do 800. That was pretty bad, but it looked kind of cool. Now, there are a few things you also need to know about these. For instance, you cannot scale the birds. You can scale everything else. You can stretch them, skew them, and all that, but you cannot scale the birds. What are the visual effects? Well, we've talked about the birds. You've also got the red splat, the health up, the spiral stars, and the ring spark. These have some amazing uses, like you can take the ring spark and turn it into a fireworks show, and there are so many cool things you can do. So I encourage you to play with these, go pull these out of the templates, and Meta, if you are listening, please give us access to these from the normal visual effects dropdown, and I would encourage getting the visual effects capacity cost fixed as soon as possible, so that people, when it does eventually get fixed, aren't surprised when their world goes over capacity, as that could be quite dangerous. Unless you intended it to be 0% and we're just supposed to be smart about it, which is totally okay in my book. So, capacity and optimization is not always about the capacity meter. It is also about how we intuitively use and think about it so that we do not cause a bad user experience. All right, well, thank you, MetaWisp and Dempster, for helping find these. If you know about any other new visual effects, be sure to leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have another awesome video in the works, and we cannot wait to share that with you soon. We'll see you in Horizon. Bye!